Hi guys, welcome to episode 8?
Number 8, mate.
Eight
Number 8
of Normalising Life podcast with me and Adam. Back to normal. Yeah, back to normal.
I know, we're gonna wave to the camera then, but I ain't got a camera yet. So.
Yeah, he's still using his iPhone 1.
iPhone 1.
Yeah, so he has no video, but you can still look at my face on YouTube, no bother. I've no mustache either, so it's a bit easier to look at. Yeah, personally, I want to apologise for the past few weeks. I was the one who said no podcast because I was stressed as fuck about coming back to Italy and making sure I have everything right, and I wasn't in the right frame of mind for podcasting, in my opinion. So, as I say before on my podcasts, you can't pour from an empty cup, and I was well and truly empty during that holiday. So I'm back to normal now, and I'm looking forward to smashing out a few podcasts with Adam and getting back to normal.
We've got some good ones coming. Yeah, we've got some good ones coming up as well.
Yep, got a guest coming on finally.
So make sure you listen out for the next one because we will have a guest on, and like I say, we're going to start normalising people and getting at them. So it's about kind of making sure people are being normalised to you guys. So like we're going to get on them to tell some funny, embarrassing stories, and then we're just going to talk about real shit and get like real people, like these people's opinion on
and
it.
Females on, like I'm glad to get a female on, so we can
get a bit of a different dynamic.
Yeah, exactly. I just noticed that my wee timer thing is on the GarageBand, but sure. Right, so we will start with what's in the news. What's in the news, Adam?
What's in the news? So I've seen a hell of a lot recently, and I keep thinking about this and doing this, and then I hadn't done it, and then I regret it, and I'm like, I'm going to do it, but I regret it. But I'm still not sure if it's the right time to do it, and it's Bitcoin and investing in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. It's obviously it's gone fucking through the roof recently,
hasn't it? 30K,
like, there's so many
31K
people.
or something?
31K. Last time I looked at it, we were at 17, and then I'm like, oh, it's still too much, but it might drop down, and then I might drop down. If it drops down, I might invest. If it drops down, I might invest, and then now it's at fucking 31K or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's going up. All the Bitcoin Pro people are saying it's on scope for like 100 grand, because apparently institutions are now investing in it. So like the big hedge fund managers and whatnot are like, oh, I'll put 1% of my $1 billion portfolio into this Bitcoin cryptocurrency thing.
I've got a grudge. With it because whenever I was living in Saudi, I had a bit of extra money, so I thought I'd throw a bit of money into cryptocurrency. And it was the exact same time. I don't know if you remember, about 3 years ago, crypto climbed like fuck, went up to like 28K before. And I was like, fuck, I might invest in this. I threw two grand at it, and within a few months, it fucking went down, and I lost, I think it was like 1,400 quid in the space of like 3 months. And
Did you hold it though? Did you sell it?
I held it for a while, and then I started putting in other coins to see if I can grow it, but it didn't work, and I'm down to like, I don't even look at it anymore.
Well, it's like, that's what I was thinking. Is like, if I were investing it, it's like I'm holding it longer term. Like if you'd have held that until now,
exactly.
You'd have been laughing.
Exactly, but back then didn't know that sort of stuff, and all the telltale signs were happening now than happened whenever I felt for it at that time, because like you see things on like just randomers on Facebook who don't have a clue what they're talking about, saying, oh, how do you set up a Coinbase account? How do I invest in cryptocurrency? Sorry, like there was the exact same telltale signs are happening now than were happening then. So my spidey senses are tingling.
Saying that they're going to be a drop.
Yeah, so I just think it's not the right time. Like you're buying in a very hyped environment now, and it could be a repercussion of COVID. Who knows? Like it's just everything's so volatile. I'd rather just invest in things that I know about and I know that's going to work, rather than the risk of crypto.
Yeah, well, that's what we do, don't we? We chat about it all the time, don't we? In like our little investment side pots and shit. But we're not an investment podcast. We're not going to go deep into that. But yeah, no, I just think it's been something I've been looking at for a while, and you always kick yourself in the teeth when you're looking at a stock in it, like you're looking at this business for a while, and then it suddenly goes through the roof, and you're like, fuck, I could have got in it then.
It's just the crypto. It's like if it's a stock, they say Tesla or Apple, you've got an iPhone, you've got a car, you know that it's a materialistic thing that you're investing in. But crypto, it's literally just fucking ether. It's just a wee bit. It's like money in the sky. Like someone just literally made this up and put it online, and everyone's like, oh, let's buy it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just because you
Well,
can't
it's like
hold it in your hand. I don't trust it.
Yeah, well, you can't hold a stock, but I know what you mean. You can buy a product from a stock.
Yeah.
But like, I think I've done a lot of research into Bitcoin, and there's only a limited amount of Bitcoin. I think there is like I might be completely butchering it. I think there's 21 million pieces of Bitcoin that is made, and it'll be 2,140 before all of the Bitcoin's been mined. So like, it was at one point that you could mine a Bitcoin on your computer, and if you'd have done that like in 2009, when it was kind of a new thing, then you could have done it on your computer. But now it gets harder and harder to find. You need more and more processing power. So now there's like massive like storage units full of servers and processing power for computers to mine these Bitcoins. But obviously, if you mine a Bitcoin and you find it now, it's worth a fucking shit ton. It were worth what, £10 whenever it were at that point.
Less than that, wasn't it? Mad.
Yeah, but it's
I don't know.
But that's it.
I would advise people who don't know anything about it to stay out of it. If you're listening to this,
you definitely need to learn about it.
Don't just play it safe. Especially with people at the minute with your short in cash, it's not a quick fix.
Yeah.
It's not a quick getting money quick scheme. It's not.
No, you need to look into it because, like I said, there's Bitcoin and there's the Ethereum.
Yeah.
They're the two kind of main ones. And the way that I know about it is Bitcoin is obviously like the big daddy, kind of what it works with transitions on something called a blockchain, which I'm not going to go into, like I don't know that much about it, but I just know there's something called a blockchain, which people kind of solve or something. It's like a Rubik's Cube or something. I don't know. But then Ethereum is like what potentially could be like money to us. Like it could be like our cash, but it's all digital. But basically it's like what they say is smart money. So it says something like, say, if you want to buy a house, you could put a contract in the money rather than, say, going through real estate agents and everything. You could put, once this money is passed, then you automatically get ownership of the house or something like that.
Yeah, it was the same sort of stuff was happening again whenever I bought into it last time. I was reading news articles and there's people selling houses, people selling cars with crypto, with Bitcoin, and not using cash because then they get away from capital gains tax and shit like that there because it's not a taxable item yet. I think it can I don't know if Bitcoin can be taxed now, but back then it wasn't taxable, so the government couldn't make money off it. But I think I don't know, I'm pretty sure they can you can tax it now because it'd be
they can't tax it. They can't tax it yet. They can tax you on gains of it. So it's like if you sell it, it's capital gains tax.
Yeah. But back then, I'm near sure you couldn't get taxed on it, which I think the government was missing out on big time.
Yeah. Well, it's like if the government start using it, then the blockchain thing that I said, like the transactions between selling and between like exchange for Bitcoin, is public knowledge. Like you can, I mean, no one knows how to make the information make sense. Well, we don't. There is people that do, but it means that basically every time you pay for something, it has like that embedded into the blockchain.
Yeah.
So if it became
like an algorithm sort of thing.
Yeah. If it became like more of a nationwide, like actually nationally accepted, and like say people in government started using it and stuff, you could start to see where people's funding coming from and stuff. Like obviously in governments there's probably like dirty money here and there and whatnot, but that wouldn't be able to be an option because everything would be able to be public knowledge and on. So it could potentially open up a lot of like really see where governments are sending the money or like governments are getting the money from and stuff. At the start,
because I remember at the start it was like untraceable money, so people obviously used it in the dark web to buy drugs, buy hitmen, buy shit like that there. I'm sure everyone's heard stories about it, like, but now I think if the government took advantage of it, like it'd be a big winner for them, but I don't think they know how to yet. But
and also the fact of that the reason why they say, well, what if there's laws come out that ban it or you're not allowed to use it, it's like it's so big now that if say USA banned Bitcoin, then things like UK, Switzerland, all these kind of other money places, Russia, would probably go, sweet, come here, this money's going to be awesome, let's come here. So nowhere will actually ban it, and because it's uncentralized, meaning there isn't one hub or like one person, there isn't a company that owns it, it's just Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's like this thing is going to be, it could potentially be massive, but one company couldn't say no, because then if others start saying yes, then they're going to lose a shitload of business to that country.
Yeah.
So
It's all about mad, like. It's all about
yeah,
mad.
it's crazy.
But
that
was a mega rabbit hole there. I'm sure everyone who's not interested in it is thinking, maybe put this on pause till later or fast forward.
Yeah, let's wrap that one up.
Yeah, we'll wrap that one up, and we'll keep the structure going with the other section of bitter pills to swallow.
Yeah. Well, we want you saying we're going to talk about a little bit about your trip. Oh, you forgot to mention something, didn't you, about your trip?
That's right. Yeah, in the last podcast I mentioned about driving back to Ireland from Italy, but I've completely skipped my mind. I don't know. I think it's because I pushed it at the back of my mind because I don't want to think about it ever again. But when I was driving through, Switzerland, and I went through an average speed camera thing, but it was going like 25 kilometers an hour over the speed limit, which is about 14 miles an hour, give or take. And in the fourth average camera, I didn't even know what was going through them, but I was about 5 minutes from the French border, and I got chased down by the Swiss police. They chased me down in their car, pulled me into this wee side street, and told me to get out of my car. And they says, "Oh, it's just a minor offence here, sir." Blah blah. They could speak perfect English, and I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, here we go. Right, fine, speeding, blah blah." I asked them, so what was I doing wrong? He said, "Do you know what speed you were doing?" I was like, "No, I don't know." That's the key, by the way. If anyone asks you what speed you're doing, you don't know. You don't know because they can't prove it. But apparently they can because I had cameras. But so they caught me in every camera, and they said, "Yeah, we caught you, and you were doing X, Y, Z speed over the speed limit, and we just need to give you a minor offence penalty. You can pay it now because we have proof that you've done it. You can just pay it now if you want, because it's just going to get sent to your house and you're going to have to pay it anyway because there is a camera spotting you doing it."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" So I was thinking, like, what would you say for a fine that's on the spot penalty for 15 miles an hour over the speed limit?
I think I'd probably wait until, I'd probably say I'm not got away paying it now. I'll wait until it goes through.
Like, how much money would you say is the right amount for a fine of that stature?
Well, if you're looking at around kind of UK prices, if like when I got done the other week, it was £100.
£100. I would say 100, 180. Whenever I was first getting out of the car, I was like, "Fuck, here we go." Because it's Switzerland, you think it's a bit more expensive, so maybe 200. I've been fined 200 quid in Europe before for a speeding offence, so I just given that as a rough. And then I asked him, "So minor offence, how much am I looking?" And he was like, £500. 500 fucking pounds. It was like 550. No, it was 550 CHF, which is like Swiss francs.
Oh, right, okay,
so
yeah.
500 quid came out of my account for 497 or whatever. So
fucking hell.
And I've never been speechless before in my life until that moment. I was like, fucking minor offence? What the fuck's a major offence? Like I was scared to ask what the major offence was, but I'm sure it's fucking over £1,000. But Swiss law is just fucking like absolutely grim. They were doing if you were in COVID, if you mix households in Switzerland, you get fined €10,000 or Swiss francs.
Yeah, well, they're saying that about like parties and stuff, weren't they? If you got caught having a party, the household got charged like 10 grand here, but
never happened.
I never heard of it happening.
Scaring tactics.
But yeah, no, I got pulled over, didn't I, just before Christmas for speeding. This sounds as like we're just proper like boy racers. I was on a dual carriageway that was 30 miles an hour, and we were going 36, and I thought the road was 40. So, and I didn't even get a speed awareness, straight points.
Oh, grim.
So I got shafted on that one there, but yeah, no, it was. I had to get out, do the whole, get into the car. Do you know how fast she was going? No, I don't know how fast I was going.
3 miles per hour. I was going really slow.
yeah. But yeah, it's so annoying, isn't it?
Switzerland could get in the bin for that.
Breaking the law.
The only thing they're good for is Lindt chocolate and evading tax. That's all they're good for. And they can just get the fuck in the bin.
I love that.
But yeah, we'll go back to the bitter pill to swallow, and it's not fines because that was a bitter pill to swallow. But no, I'm gonna go with ego is your greatest enemy. This can go very so many different areas. The ego is just a killer in so many aspects, whether it be financial gain, weight loss, muscle gain, just anything you can think of. The ego is just brutal.
I think it's a thing that's probably renowned more with men, isn't it? Like,
Oh, 100%.
women, you see women that do have an ego, but it's not very common. Like, whether it's like a testosterone-driven thing or something, there's men that have egos all the time, and it's like I think a certain level of ego is good, but then you can get very, very over
Yeah.
the top very quickly.
Yeah, you like small man syndrome, sort of that sort of thing. It's just pure ego driven. Ego driven decisions are always horrible decisions, and it even comes down to, like, if you think about it in the gym, like coming from a CrossFit perspective, like I've been in CrossFit 2 years now, and the amount of times that I've said to myself, my form is shit. I'm going to strip back the bare barbell and correct my form again from the start. Have I done it? Fuck no. Why? Because everyone's in the gym watching, and I don't want to be lifting fucking the same as most girls just to go back to my weight, just purely because of ego. And it's awful, because women have, if you're noticing, women's form, well, most women's form on snatches or Olympic lifts are impeccable, because they don't care about going back to an average weight just to correct something or make something better. But men, we just want to lift heavy because we're alpha males and we want to look cool. But realistically, if we let go of that shit and go back to square one and build from the bottom up, like, it's going to work out better. It's what people don't understand.
Yeah,
that.
it's like I put an Instagram post out on that new my new air game business I'm doing. Basically, it was like the Twitter format saying, basically, if you are lifting a 1 rep max and posting it on Instagram with the caption, "I still need to work on my form though," it's still shit. And in the words of Shania Twain, that don't impress me much.
Yeah, again, it's true, like, but at the same time, I've seen people lift with performance heavy, and it's still impressive, like, but you're still cringing, and when you're watching, your right eye closes because you're like, oh fuck.
I'm just waiting for it. It's like you're always one bad rep away from an injury, and it's like being a physio. It's like that. I just don't see it as being worth it. It's like, I had a friend comment on the post saying that it's like, look, well, form always breaks down when you're going heavier, and it's right, it does. But the same guy, I've seen him deadlift over 300 kilo with better form than most normal form anyway.
Yeah.
When he's him doing powerlifting, and I was like, yeah, you're right, but I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about this elite level of people that have got their form nailed down to a T. Yes, they're going to break down a little bit when they get to the max level. I'm talking about your average Joe, who's probably got a bit of a shit form anyway when he's lifting good, lighter weight, and then he goes to lift a heavy weight and his back's like a pretzel. It's
not a good foundation. You need to have a good foundation when it comes to lifting. And for anyone who does go to the gym here, I'm sure we have a lot of gym going listeners compared to others, but build a good foundation and build from there, and don't be scared to go back, and don't think about, especially in a CrossFit atmosphere, it's supposed to be a community where no one really gives a fuck what you're lifting, but just take that and go back to the weight, go back to the start, lift light, and build that foundation again.
Definitely.
It'll take one strength cycle to maybe correct that, maybe 2 strength cycles, which is what, 6 to 8 weeks. Like, it's not much. Short-term sacrifice for long-term gain.
I always use the analogy of, like, you wouldn't build a house on bad foundations, so why build a body on bad foundations? It's the same kind of thing of, like, you start just trying to lift as heavy as you can without working on the small little things, working on your mobility, especially in Olympic lifts and stuff. Like, it's all these little things are so important. Like, it's not just form and technique. It is form and technique, but it's like getting into the positions as well. You need to be able to move well and whatnot.
But like the ego thing is not. It's not even just the gym. You can, like, that ego comes everywhere. When it comes to buying something, it comes to investing in something, your ego thinks you're doing something right, but realistically you could lose a lot of money. Or even down to taking advice from people. Like, if someone's trying to give you advice who's been in the same position as you have, but you are so egotistical that you know that you're doing the right thing, and it ends up backfiring because of your ego. It backfires and you lose something like not worth losing. Like, it all comes down to that ego. If you just let go of that ego for once, just put yourself in other people's shoes, or put yourself in a different perspective. Don't be narrow-minded. Open up that brain to other avenues, and I guarantee that decisions will be made a lot better. Same as making decisions under emotion. It's just always a bad move.
Yeah. Well, I was always like very like egotistical at uni, but
Oh, so was I. Yeah, I was a cunt.
yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah, we just that way. It was it's hard because it was like that was just been like the alpha male pulling women.
Mate, it's just mature.
kind of
It's just a
shit.
maturity thing. Like when you're young, like you've nothing else really to like but be egotistical if you can. But when you get
Yeah,
older,
yeah.
you realise that the egotistical decisions mean a lot more than they did back then. Like egotistical back then was like, oh fuck, what drink do you get? But now it's
Yeah.
like, fuck, what house am I getting? What car am I getting? Will it do me?
Yeah.
Like, am I gonna get a fucking good car? It's
Yeah.
worth 25 grand when I haven't even got a house yet. Like shit like that when your ego just takes over. I'm one of the people that I know has bought fucking 28, 29 grand cars on finance and still live with their mum. That drives me nuts. That like,
Yeah.
buy a fucking house, bro. Like,
Yeah.
what? Like it's just pure ego.
No, it's crazy when you look at different things like that. I think a good point, like one thing that's really helped me is I've been doing a lot of meditation like over the last year, but I keep going in and out of it, and I'm really doing it quite a lot, like daily at the minute. And they always like I really like the saying when it comes to meditation. Like, people ask like, what do you gain from doing it? Like, why do you do it? And it's like it's not about what you gain, it's about what you lose. So it's like you lose the stress and you lose this kind of like
Anxiety.
of anxiety and like being overwhelmed and stuff. And if you gain anything, you gain gratitude. Like you're thinking about your life and you're thinking about things that like shit. Like I'm not actually got it that shit. Like,
Yeah.
even in this kind of state of the world's in right now, you can think, fuck it, I'm still not really got it that shit. There's a lot of people that've got it worse than what I have right now.
Yeah.
And it's like I might get stressed about having this little shitter of a iPhone -1, but it's like the grand scheme of things, it fucking don't matter.
Yeah. Realistically, you have a phone. Some people don't.
yeah.
But
And
yeah, meditation. Personally, I haven't went in full depths in it. Like the most meditation I do is a ROM wad every night. Like, but ROM wad it's 15 minutes of breathing and stretching and getting in the right frame of mind, which does help me completely.
how long is it normally? A run
24 minutes or something.
Yeah, I wake up every morning. I do a yoga, so I'll do like a 20-30 minute yoga, and then I'll meditate
I
for 10
think
to 15
yoga's a bit
minutes.
different in terms of, like, you probably have a sweat on when you're doing yoga or something, do you know?
It depends on which I do. Like say this morning I did what's a yin, so it's like
Yeah.
Ron like very slow kind of stretchy
Long,
stuff.
holding movements, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas like I do prefer normally to do like power yoga, which is like more of a workout
we're
style.
sweaty.
Because like my whole thing, if like people see me on Facebook, is like I call myself a mobility pro, and I think the mobility pro kind of element of things comes into play when I'm not flexible, and I'm more flexible than the average person, but I'm not flexible in the terms of what people would deem flexibility,
Yeah.
of like doing splits and all this kind of thing. But what I am good at is mobility. So mobility is your power through range, your strength through a range of motion.
Yeah.
So like it's been able. Do you know? I remember seeing on your story you doing like hip flexor movements where you end range hip flexor doing your leg raise, and you're like, fucking hell, this is hard.
Yeah.
Like that's mobility. Like your range of motion in your hamstrings there is getting tested, but you're controlling that movement. So that is your mobility of that movement,
Yeah.
rather than say flexibility, which is like your how far you can stretch.
Yeah.
But flexibility isn't necessarily functional.
Yeah.
Mobility is very functional, and that's why I like it.
Mobility is the idea of making your body bulletproof under big stressful movements. Your body's able to keep up with it, like, and that's why I love mobility, like, for that aspect of being, like, the idea of making a bulletproof body. I love the sound of that, like, just never having any injuries, well, niggles. It's just a better way to live, like.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that's another thing is kind of we could go down another rabbit hole of this because it's my realm of things, but it's everybody's different. So one of the main questions I ever get asked when I'm doing physio work is, why me? Why has this happened to me?
Mm-hmm.
And you always need to think about, if you imagine Google Maps and your destination A is standing with the barbell on your back and your final destination is the bottom of the squat. How you get there is so many different routes. You've got so many options of getting there. Like, you can use your quads more, you use your glutes more, you can have more mobility in your ankles, you can lose your lower back curve or whatever. So Imagine that for everything you do in your day-to-day life. There's so many different options of how you do it.
Way to be, yeah.
And like the way that you pick something and you do something is completely different to how the next person does it, completely different how to I do it, completely different how to you do it. And then it's not that one time doing it, it's the repetition of doing that over and over and over again, which then creates the imbalances for you or creates the situation where you might get injured for your case. So it's learning that, and obviously it's figuring out your imbalances, figuring out where you're tight, where you need to be moving more, and progressing from there. But the question of why me is always, that's the answer basically. It's the fact that we all do things differently. We're all different in a sense. Yes, some of the solutions might be similar. Like it might be strengthening your core. It might be getting your glutes to engage a little bit better or whatever in specific movements. It might be improving your range, but it's still the fact of that everything happens to each person differently, because if we all squatted and it looked exactly the same, then I'm sure it would be fine, but it doesn't, and we all use muscles in different ways. I don't know how that links to ego, but there we go.
Well, it's all linked, isn't it? Rabbit holes all day long today. If you want any mobility advice, hit up Adam, and I'm sure he'll help you out.
Well, that is literally my job. So
so hit him up. Should we go? What time are we at?
We're at 28.
28. I think we should put in the bin. What we put in the bin?
Yeah. Was there not another bit? Did you have a bit of pill?
No, actually. That's all.
What did you say about?
I have that put in the bin. I've got the playing victim.
Oh, right, yeah, that's what we're going to say. I thought that was a bit of pill.
Which, again, is another wee pet hate of mine, especially during COVID and this environment at the minute. People just fucking blaming everyone else so they don't have to take credit for their mistakes or their business going shit, or just the blame game. It doesn't help out anyone. Just fucking, everyone's in the shitter here. Accept it, move around it, find different ways to do it. What I love to see at the minute is businesses working around the COVID situation. So people making sacrifices, taking jumps to counteract what's happened with COVID to make their businesses more successful. Like, I love to see it, and there's not enough people doing it. Like, people from owning gyms, give out your equipment, rent out your equipment. People weren't doing it in the first lockdown, which was fucking stupid, and they lost a lot of money, and they realised this is the way to do it. Give your equipment out. Fair enough, you might not get some back, or you might not get any back, but you're taking a risk, and you will get money back.
Get them to leave a deposit. Get a safety system in place.
And again, I don't take a piss. I've seen gyms fucking give out fuck all and costing you paying your full membership. And at the same time as well, if you're earning money, this is another thing. If you're earning money during COVID, pay all your memberships, pay your small companies. If you're a woman and you're working during COVID and you usually get your eyelashes done or your hair done or anything like that, or your nails, still fucking pay them, even though you're not getting it done. Pay them, because you're keeping them in a job, even though you're earning. You're one of these lucky cunts that are earning at this moment in time. Take advantage of that and help people out. Pay your nail artist, pay your eyelash artist, pay your gym membership. I'm paying double my gym membership. They're letting me equipment. I'm paying double. I'm paying 140 quid a month just to help my gym out. It doesn't take fuck all. You're literally giving something back that you've been getting from them for the past year or 2 years. Stop playing victim.
If you've got that disposable income, then it's just right. Like, we need to all help each other at this kind of minute where we can. And it's just,
and there's people that don't like asking for help as well. Even if you keep that in mind, there's people don't like asking. So if they're in trouble, they'd rather just curl up in a ball and don't tell anyone and just let themselves die. But you need to read these people and say, I'm going to help you without you asking for help. I'm going to give you this money. I'm going to fucking help you out. Like, they're the people that need help most.
I think there's something we're going to touch on here. It's like, it kind of links into the ego thing as well a little bit. So my physio company that I work for, I've been asked to close one of their sites, but like legally they're allowed to trade. Like, legally physios are allowed to trade, but because the clinic's inside of a gym, they've been asked to close because gyms are shut. But technically, on the legal side of things, they rent a space within a commercial building. They don't rent a space off the gym, so they should be fine. But because in the first lockdown, Rotherham Council had to come and visit the Ultraflex gym a load of times. Rotherham Council have now got a grudge against Ultraflex and anything that's involved in Ultraflex. So they're closing down the physio clinic, which is allowed to help people with, obviously, people are constantly going to be in chronic pains, post-surgery, all this kind of crap that we're constantly treating people like this. It's now putting their health at risk in a global pandemic because of this little vendetta they've got against the gym.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely baffling, but
there's always going to be people trying to fucking shit in your cornflakes. Like there's always going to be those people in any aspect of life, but especially during this COVID, people just can't see.
I just thought that linked into the ego thing a lot, and about like that helping small businesses and stuff. And it was like, there's another business that are working in there that's a meal prep fast food company, so they send out meal prep packages. They were giving 1,000 meals away to the people in need and stuff as well, and they've been asked to close because their base is based within the gym, but again they rent the space freely from the commercial building, not the gym. But then you go over the road and KFC's still open, and it's like,
it's a fucking joke.
Someone is trying to keep things healthy, and
it's mad. Like the people making these calls at the minute, but again, it's happening. It's going to keep on happening as well. But it's how you adapt. Like adapting during this environment is key. You need to be able to adapt your business yourself to make ends meet of what you have now. Like, for example, that fast food company, the food company. There's nothing they can do. There's no point in fucking crying about spilt milk that can't be fucking cleaned up. Like, you can complain to the government, but you're not going to get a reply for 3 months. They've got fucking other things to worry about. So what can you do to change? You need to fucking go to your house, take less orders, cook in your house, just make ends meet. Just make what you can out of the bad situation, and whenever it comes back to normal, you'll be stronger and better for it. Like, that's what I mean about playing victim. Like, you know yourself, you can't change things that are out of your power. Like, there's no point in trying. You're just wasting energy trying to change things that are out of your power. So change things that are in your power, adapt, overcome anything that's in your way as best as possible, and move forward.
Well, I think at the minute for a lot of businesses, it's like you need, because of people's attention. Well, you need to go where people's attention is, don't you? And people's attention at the minute is all over social media because they've got more time and nothing to do. So that's what they're doing a lot of the time. So I saw something where it was like every company needs to become a marketing and content creating company that does something else. Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of people in business don't realise that, like, I don't understand social media. I'm not doing that.
Exactly.
It's like people like ourselves, when we start businesses, we know that that's really important and we need to push that. Mm-hmm. Someone in the 40s or 50s is starting a business now, then maybe not taking that information to heart so much.
Exactly.
And I think that's where like companies could adapt, like turning your kind of brick and mortar store on the street to like an e-store and start e-commerce and stuff like that.
Look at the hybrid academy, for example. Like, we knew when we started that we would have to go to events to be able to be successful because we had no name. We needed to create a community by going face to face with people to let them see our products and stuff like that. We can't fucking do it. We can't go to events. We can go to gyms back then, but now we can. So we needed to adapt. We need to think, how are we going to get our message out to people without actually seeing them? And that's giveaways is our way. Like, if we're looking at it, if we're going to events, we would be spending maybe $1,000 grand and a half just for getting there, paying for the events, getting a team together, maybe even more. So if we put that money, we would be going to events, into a giveaway, growing our following, doing that. Like, it's adapting to this environment. It's going to help us grow. And it's the same in any aspect. Like, at the start, whenever I was in lockdown, I was doing 2 months unpaid work, shitting myself. It's like, there's no point in even worrying about it. Like, you just have to make ends meet, try to fucking take advantage of a bad situation and adapt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's going to be different in every field as well, so you can't really generalise it, but I think it is so important to, especially to have it needs to have an online presence now, and I think a lot of people.
But even if it's not online, people don't know stuff like that. Like, if you're making, say if you're making like $3,000 doing what you're normally doing a month for your business, even if you're making a third of that in this atmosphere, in this environment at the minute, you're doing well. like there's a lot of people earning zero, and then they're just crying over it because they're earning nothing. But realistically, you probably could earn a third of what you're earning, but you're just not fucking trying. You're just gurning about it, playing victim. But there's no point. Just fucking move on. Earn what you need to earn, and just struggle like everyone else for the next few months. It'll be back to normal soon, and then you can make
it's
up.
like so it's like the way that it might obviously be it's like new strain or whatever it is, but it's like the rates of the deaths rate isn't necessarily going up. I think it might be around where it was in March at its kind of worst time, March, April is, but the infection rate is gone up massively.
Yeah. I know it's because of Christmas mixing that bubbles and shit like that. There, it was always going to go up.
And I think that it's obviously like it's different for different people. Like you take my situation into account is that as a physio I can work, but I'm choosing not to work because I'm living with my dad at the minute, and they said he had a stroke and everything, and he's at high risk. So it's like there's in my terms, until he gets the vaccine anyway, which should be by the end of this month, is like, do I really value 3 weeks to a month's work over potentially my dad's life if the shit hit the fan the other way around?
Yeah.
And it's no I don't. So it's like I'll take the time now. Hopefully everyone else is doing their bit as well, because we need to.
But realistically, you could do online stuff because you've got that option.
I know,
and you've made that option
like,
for yourself. Over this
yeah.
past year, you've made that option for yourself to do mobility online, which that was you adapting to the environment. I mean, so you've done it right in that way. But there's some people who are just still stuck in the past and just crying over spilt milk, and they're not trying to adapt.
Yeah. No, definitely. You say people just need to like. You say how can you change? How can you make your business better? You never know. It like might open a new revenue stream that's like going to be the one.
Yeah.
It's going to be the awesome thing for you that's going to set you up. And that's everything that you need to look at.
Yeah, but that was good talk.
No, mate.
I enjoyed that.
Well, we've got a 40-minute marker.
Yeah.
Roundabout as well. So, yes, guys. So we are going to be recording some more podcasts over this week. I probably will, to be honest, get this one out like a couple of days' time.
Yeah, fuck it, get out early, because the one before this was a bit of a catch up of what happened over Christmas, and just a wee quick one. So this is more
like
in-depth.
a proper episode. And then obviously we've got some guest plans. So hopefully the next couple of episodes will be us with guests as well, which is going to be absolutely awesome. So make sure you come back to check out that. Make sure you go and follow and see the Hybrid Academy giveaway. If it goes out by Saturday, Sunday, will the giveaway be done yet?
Oh no, 2 weeks. So it's all good.
2 weeks. Sweet. So go check out the Hybrid Academy giveaway. Go check out the A-Game Consultancy Mastermind. There's a link in the description for that as well. That's loads of information, loads of value about your internal, physical and mental health. So especially in the pandemic, a lot of us maybe need some advice and guidance on that. So definitely go check that out. It's a free mastermind, 90 minutes, and we're just going to be giving you loads of value and information. But yeah, guys, apart from that, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. If you are listening, then it would be absolutely awesome if you could leave a review on Spotify, Google, whatever podcasting platform you're listening on. That'd be absolutely awesome. A review or a rating, whatever it is. And yeah, we will catch you guys in the next episode.
Thanks, guys.
See you later, guys.